right, 2 minutes. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Damian Otieno from Pejeta Conservancy. I'm the project manager at the Conservation Technology Lab at Pejeta. What happens is at the Conservation Tech Lab, the reason why we have it at Pejeta is we are exploring technologies around conservation, and we're trying to look at various ways on how we are going to develop solutions that can help conservation efforts, and at the same time be in a position to scale these solutions, not just at Pejeta, but to other areas around Kenya and all over the world. So my presentation today, I'll just take you through the Conservation Tech Lab. We were able to get funds from the Royal Foundation through Fauna and Flora, who are our partners. And at the same time, we got some funding as well from and we've been able to come up, put up a conservation technology kind of office, which we thought, instead of building a very big kind of office with bricks or something, we decided to come up with something, like a container, fabricate it, and start putting, like the roof and everything else inside, so for it to look like an office. So this is what you're looking at right now, is how the lab was before, and this is the lab now. Right now, as it is, we have 2 screens in the lab, we have seats, and we are currently in the process of getting tools inside the lab that will make this a collaborative kind of hub where research scientists across the world, not just in Kenya, but anywhere in the world, can come. The unique thing we have at Pejeta is we're already a conservation area. Our key species are the rhinos. And what happens is, being a conservation area, we're looking at developing solutions inside here becomes more easy because people are able to come here and actually be in the field and experience the challenges that we face each and every single day. That is what actually makes us unique. One of the challenges that we've been able to look at in terms of a project is wildlife monitoring. We want to be in a position to know where our key species, especially the rhinos, we want to be in a position to know where they are. Despite the fact that we also want to monitor we are monitoring our lions at the same time. We want to know where our rhinos are. We've been able to put up an LP1 kind of network, which is a Sigfox network. One of the networks that we're trying to test at Pejeta, and we're looking at getting a LoRa network deployed and start testing devices. We've been able to get, right now, there's a ban in Kenya for putting chips or any other kind of tag in wild animals. So we've been able to put collars on cows. We have the largest herd of Boran cattle in Eastern Central Africa. So we've been able to test, and at the moment we're able to know where our cows are using the Sigfox network. And this is because we got some trackers, some Sigfox kind of trackers. At the same time, we want to know, in regards to wildlife protection, we want to be in a position to man our fence line. But how do we do that? The way we are doing it right now is an tedious way. Someone has to walk, several kilometers around Pejeta to know where there's a cut, like a fence line cut. So as it is, at the same time, we are not even able to know where, suspected incursions are, poachers coming into Pejeta and the like. So we want to be in a position to put up some kind of FLIR cameras or any other thermal or infrared camera there is in the market, to be in a position to man our fence lines. We've already identified specific places where in the past we've been in a position to experience a lot of breakages into the Conservancy, and those are areas where we are focusing on. In the months to come, we are getting into partnership, and we are going to be beneficiaries of the Kifaru Rising project, which is a project that is going to roll out in Kenya around 11 parks. We are going to install thermal FLIR cameras, that is going to help us a big deal. So if I can talk about some of the projects that we've been able to develop from the Conservation Tech Lab, one of them is around human-wildlife conflict. We've been able to develop a 2-way SMS system whereby it enables us to communicate with our communities, because just outside Pejeta, we are surrounded by several communities. And the reason why we decided to come up with, develop a system, a 2-way SMS system, is we want to be in a position to talk to them. we want to be in a position to know what kind of experiences they have out there. I can give an example. A bush pig goes into a community area and destroys their farms or something. They want to be in a position for them to report the case to us, and we are able to create like an incident management. They will tell us what is happening, and at the same time, we can actually create a case internally and and escalate it. And there are people who will actually go out there and address the problem, come back to the office and report back and say, hey, this is actually what was done, and the problem has actually been solved. If it is something that all Pejeta is not able to sort out, you are able to escalate the process using the system to, other management parks like the Kenya Wildlife Service around Kenya. Another thing we are trying to do, and we've been able to do, and it's actually in the process, is we want to monitor our wildlife corridors. A corridor is a section we have 2 wildlife corridors, corridor 1 and 2, where animals are freely, they can move in and out of the conservation area freely. So we want to be in a position to know what species actually utilize the corridors more, how many elephants moved in and out of the corridors, do really these animals make sounds or something. So we were able to get at least 5 audio moth devices in partnership with the Ribada initiative, and we deployed them in the field, and we've been coming up with kind of reports, which in the coming days I'm going to share in WILDLABS. And one thing we came to realize is actually animals don't make any sound when they're moving in and out of the Conservancy, or when they're using the corridor, which was quite interesting. And in that photo, you'll see the 5 audio moth devices that we have, and you can see elephants. That is how actually they utilize the corridors at all Pejeta. And you want to specifically even root down into coming up with technology that is enable us, have artificial intelligence kind of functionalities to be able to differentiate between an elephant and a buffalo or a zebra or something. So we're trying to explore all those technologies through the Conservation Tech Lab. This is how a 2 SMS system login page looks like. You're able to log in with an email address and a password. This is a graphical report of what you're able to get. You're able to know there is the number of received messages we get from the system. You're able to see how many messages that we've been able to send. You're able to generate all these reports from the system. At the same time, we are able to see the SMS conversations and SMS list, knowing who has sent you the SMSs, which one is priority, and all that. You're able to categorize the SMSs, which one is most critical. This one helps us in SLA, knowing this is the most critical case and it needs to be addressed, and it has an SLA. Some go up to 24 hours. The list is 8 hours, and we want to go down to the list being at least 2 hours. And the other project that we're exploring right now is we want to really monitor our fence line. And this is a product we actually call, it's called the Martin Protect, which is able to tell us or alert us when our fence line has actually, power is off or on. And we are open to explore other technologies that are out there, or even develop some of these technologies from the Makerspace or the Conservation Tech Lab that you have inside here. So with that, we are able to, be in a position to know the battery life, the power of the battery and everything. And these messages, you actually get them through the Sigfox network that we have. And we're trying to also see how we can develop other more monitoring tools that are out in the market from this place, and be able to utilize the Sigfox network that we have. And then this is just a sample messages that we get from the Martin Protect devices. And the other project that we've been able to deploy at all Pejeta just recently was Earth Ranger, whereby we've plugged in a few of our Motorola radios in, where now we are able to know where all our rangers are. This will actually just show the screen. What you're seeing right now is we are able to tell where our rangers are, and using the radios. If you look closely, you'll see Christine's Pride. That is a pride of lions. So you'll find that we've been able to tag one lion, and we know it is a pride of, let's say, around 10 or 12 lions. So we are able to know where that pride of lions is. Every day people wake up, So this is actually helping us make informed decisions as all Pejeta management and any other person, and we are able to make, get informed data and actually accurate. It may not be 100%, but we really want to get to 100% and leave nothing to chance. At the same time, using Earth Ranger, the Earth Ranger platform, we really want to plug in other devices. Like you want to know, plug in sensors, like we have boreholes around Pejeta. We want to know the utilization of water around the Conservancy area and all that. So this is something we have actually, it's already been deployed. We are fine-tuning it for our use, and it's something we'll want to scale to other conservation areas around this place. Some of the challenges that we face as a conservancy and through the Conservation Tech Lab as a space is, sensors and population count. How do we know the number of zebras we have at all Pejeta, or any other species there are? How do we get that data and make use of that data? So these are some of the challenges we face, and these are some of the challenges we really want to explore using the Conservation Tech Lab. And we just don't want to do this alone. It is actually, the Tech Lab is actually open to other scientists out there to come. You're a scientist, you are developing all these technologies around conservation and everything. You can actually come to Kenya, you can actually come to Pejeta and make use of this space to develop and come up with these solutions towards conservation. There are people out there, yes, we know they're coming up or they have very nice technologies, but one thing sometimes I will struggle is perhaps there's somebody, let's say in Nairobi or somewhere in Malawi coming up with a solution towards conservation, but they really don't know how a conservation area looks like. So those are some of the things that we are trying to address using the Conservation Tech Lab. It is here, it is open to anyone who has good ideas, come, let's explore these technologies. The other thing is about fence monitoring, which I've mentioned. We want to know when our fence line is off or maybe breakages or something, and we thought maybe artificial intelligence will be something we are going or would like to explore, or maybe ideas that will come from WILDLABS.NET or any other person pursuing this. Individual animal identification. We want to identify some of these species around Pejeta. Habitat monitoring, you want to monitor our species at Pejeta, any other conservation area, and the habitat they stay in and all that. And then we also want to know the monitoring health and general well-being of animals. What kind of sensors can we get? What kind of tags can we get? What kind of technology can we bring on board? And actually fine-tune it at the Conservation Tech Lab, or actually even just develop it from scratch. And then water utilization monitoring, which I mentioned, we have several boreholes and we want to be in a position to know what is the utilization around. So there's so very many use cases around the challenges that we have, and in the coming weeks as well, I'll be sharing this on WILDLABS.NET. And we are open for discussion, we are open for collaboration, and I actually welcome anyone who is really, really interested to work with us. Get in touch and we'll be able to push forward this agenda.